Welcome back, Gabbers, and welcome to Girls Unscripted. My name is Kate.
My name is Carolyn.
And today I am telling you guys the story of me meeting Katie Maloney. Also, we are going to be recapping the Southern Charm season premiere, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Real Housewives of New York. There is a ton to talk about, so we'll see you in there.
Welcome back to Girls Unscripted, everybody. My name is Carolyn.
And my name is Kate.
And we are here and back, and you see a Christmas tree behind me. There are lights behind Kate. It is the season holidays, the holiday season. Let's go, baby. And with the season holidays always comes...
The season holidays. You keep saying the season holidays. Keep it. This is real. This is organic. Talk to us.
We're keeping it. As comes, I'm just going to keep saying it, the season holidays. One of the best parts is our Spotify Wrapped, and we just wanted to thank everyone who had us on their top podcast for the year. We were so excited to see how many listeners we had and what you all were listening to. And we were in really good company, Kate. I don't know if you looked at all of that, but watch What Crappens. I mean, go figure, that's no surprise. But we were listed with them, with Alex Cooper, with Two T's in a Pod, who I reference all the time. It was just so flattering and so honoring. And as we come near the end of the year, we reflect, we look back, and it's like, man, we didn't even know this time last year that we were going to even do a podcast.
Exactly. Yeah, this is our first year that we even had a Spotify Wrapped, and it was like a fun realization, like when I was going through my own Spotify Wrapped of like, wait a second. Like, we can see it on the other end. And yeah, even to see like what countries everyone is listening from, because it wasn't just the US. Like,
it was like 50 countries.
Yeah, it's like crazy and amazing. And we just really want to give a big shout out to everyone that had us in their top 5, their top 10. It means a lot. I had some podcasts in my top 5, and one of them was Johnny Banana's podcast, the Reality Ringer podcast.
Yes.
And I was listening to it last week, and he gave a shout out and was like, everyone that had me in their top 5, I just want to say thank you. And I was like, that's me. Like, he's saying thank you to me. I feel that. And it just
so
feels
now you're
good
on
to be
the other
thanked.
end of it, that you're like, oh, there are people with us, and that's so cool. And we thank you so, so much. Here's to the season holiday.
The season holiday.
The best season of the year.
I think Carolyn and I mentioned this in a previous episode, but we are going to do our own version of like reality TV awards, just because we've been through so much together this year. We've watched so much together this year. Not only Vanderpump Rules or The Valley, there's also been a ton of other Bravo shows, a ton of other shows. We're still trying to work out the kinks of what we do and don't want to include in these awards, but we will probably be asking you guys some poll questions on our Instagram stories for you to get involved. So keep an eye out for that, and that is going to be next week's episode, and we are very excited for that.
Hell yeah. Woo! Holiday season holiday.
I love your tree. Is it real?
It is so real, baby. We
went
to
we
went to
really
Home
green.
Depot. It's a tree, and our ornaments haven't come in yet. Our ornaments haven't come in yet. I have like a couple of like little berry sticks in there, but it's coming along. Kyle, it's all he wanted. Sweet, sweet Kyle. He's just like, I want a real tree. He talked about it for so long. And I was like, but we've never had our own tree as like a family. So it's kind of really fun.
Isn't it like kind of cute? Don't you?
It's so cute.
It does kind of help solidify like, being a family, even though it's just you two right now. Like,
and like doing your own traditions. And we were like, do you want poinsettias? If you can see those in the background.
I see them. They're cute.
A lot of poinsettias. Yeah. We're like, why not? We can do it. Did you and Dan do it together?
Yeah, we decorated together, and we didn't have that many ornaments. I mean, we bought some from like Target. His parents actually sent him like 8 of his like childhood ornaments. So our tree is really just filled with like Batman and Robin and like a runner and like Daniel's first Christmas. I'm like, sure, whatever, I'll take it.
That's so funny. Yeah, we have like 3 ornaments of the same caliber. It's just, it's great. Yeah, we have more coming. So
yeah,
just TBD.
My parents are divorced, so I feel like our ornaments are very split. And like both of my parents still like decorate the tree with ornaments that we've used for years and years and years. I'm like, I maybe I could try and snag a couple for next year, but I kind of like that they're still at home in Pennsylvania where they belong.
I feel that. I also feel weird that I'm at the age where I like would think an ornament as a gift is a cool gift. I'd be like, oh, thank you.
Carolyn,
Where I would never think that.
Dead ass. I was just thinking today of like, I should have asked for some like Christmas decorations for Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, I could really use some things around the house. I literally just thought that today.
Like, back it up like wedding registry. We should have put down like wreaths and, and snowmen.
But that
and
stuff is kind of fun to buy yourself with like what
so
fits in your
true.
house. Yeah, it's like fun to go Christmas shopping.
Yeah, very true.
Okay, so this was really random, and it's funny because I feel like I just texted you guys like this photo. I texted you the photo of me and Katie Maloney, right?
Oh, duh.
And I never gave you any like backstory as to why I was there. And you and Rachel were both like, wait, what is happening? Why are you sending me this? So I am happy to announce I finally went to something about her.
Was it? Oh, did you get a sandwich?
I did, on gluten-free bread, and it was very good. So look, I'm not going to say they're like the best sandwiches I've ever had. I mean, I'm from Philadelphia. I've had a good sandwich.
Right. Philly cheesesteak.
They were good. I mean, it was good. Like, I don't know what else you can say. And the portions were huge. Like,
really?
Yeah, like big ass sandwiches. So I ended up, another like TikTok friend, Josh the RHONY, Stan is his name. He was in town and him and I hung out a couple times, and the first place he wanted to go to was something about her. Apparently Katie Maloney is like his favorite Bravo person. So he DM'd her and was like, I'm going to be at something about her. And she literally messaged him back and said, okay, great. I'll make sure I'm there when you're there. And like, so she like went out of her way to like go and say hi to this guy. And it was really sweet. And like, she said hi to him, and then he introduced me, and Katie was just kind of like, oh, like I could tell she'd seen my face before, probably.
Really
like, she
cool.
was like, oh yeah. And then she followed me on Instagram. Now she views like all my Instagram stories. So now I'm like, not that I would ever say anything bad about Katie, but I'm like, God, it's like I just have to be really careful about what I post.
Kate, it's so fun to be like the nobody on this journey with you. I feel like every time you come back, you have like really crazy and like it's always upped a level, right? Like when we went to the party, you didn't know anybody, but then like Ariana recognized you. That was up a level. And now you're like, Katie Maloney watches your stories, up a level. Like, you're just climbing, girl. I'm so proud of you.
I don't know. I don't have an answer as to why, but I'm happy it's happening. So I feel like it's a good sign that you and I, together and separate, are doing what we should be doing.
It's all happening.
It's all happening. But yeah, so something about her was good. I got like the chicken salad sandwich or whatever. I mean, it was cute. I will say the sandwich and my drink was like over $20. But
well,
it's also,
we knew that. Yeah. We've discussed this.
There was no line when we got there, but by the time we left, there was a line down the street. Like, and there are at least like 6 or 7 tables in there.
Oh, okay. I remember walking by and thinking there's more room in there than I originally
that's
thought.
what we were like, wow, there's a lot more seating in here than like they make it seem like on the thing. So it was good. It was cute. Enjoyed it. Katie and I were the same height. I just always imagined her being so much taller than me.
Y'all look so similar. Did she say that? Have you ever been told that?
No, but when I showed Dan the photo, he was like, you guys look alike. But Dan says that about every girl with brown hair. He says about Paige DeSorbo too. We watched Southern Charm together, and he was like, you look like her. I'm like, we literally are just 2 girls with brown hair.
You know what? You also, it's the style. Because you even said that Katie Maloney's like your style
I do
icon.
like her style. I do.
Like, y'all have very similar styles, aesthetics,
Yeah.
demures. Love it.
Well, the one up thing, let me tell you a one down thing. So another thing Josh wanted to do while he was in town was go to Jax's. And I was like, sure, whatever. I've been a couple of times. Who cares? Carolyn, there was no one there. And
What time was it?
We went for like 7 o'clock on a Monday on karaoke night. So we were like, and like, it wasn't just like there was no one there. Like, we were the only people. To the point where I had to go up and ask the bartender, like, is there a server? Like, they'll know we're out there, right? Like, gradually more people came, but like, they always advertise this karaoke night as if it's like this big thing. And there was like, I would say total the whole night we were there, maybe 10 people walked in and out.
Really?
I mean, and
That's
it is a
not
Monday,
good.
and our server was so fucking hot. And we just kept being like, oh my God, like, he's coming back. And we looked him up after. We were like, we're going to find this guy. Turns out he was on Temptation Island. Isn't that a random fact?
Which season? Who was he?
His name was Griffin.
I've got to see a picture. I used to love Temptation Island. I haven't watched it in a few seasons.
Honestly, it was a good show. He was on Season 5.
Who was his?
But he doesn't look like that. That can't be him. This was him. But he
it looks like the IMDb guy, but not really. But I see what you're saying.
He looked better in person. Anyways,
so fun. Love that for you guys.
What's up with you? Anything cray?
Everything's just so great, except there are fires happening right now. And I was like, Kyle, we're like 2 miles away from the warning evacuation line.
You know what my favorite thing about LA is?
What?
The fact that someone could say there's a fire 4 miles away. This is the first time I'm hearing of it.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
I've never heard of this.
I normally don't pay it any mind because whatever, Malibu is on, like, seriously on fire.
What the shit? I had no idea. I did see there was high wind warnings, but that's all I saw.
Yeah, the Santa Ana winds took it to another level. It crossed the PCH. It might burn down the pier if it hasn't already in Malibu. Yeah, like it's a problem. Like I'm thinking about all the housewives. Camille, she had her house burned down. I bet it's going to happen again. Like,
we are holding space for the housewives right now who may be affected by this fire.
But no, seriously, like I'm like kind of keeping an eye on it because we've never had fires come down to like the flats of LA, but
I mean, I always say there's too much cement and it's never going to catch.
That's what I say too, so I'm just praying, but who knows?
Okay, well, we want to go over like Southern Charm, the Real Housewives. We have a lot to go over, so I'm just going to say this real quick. Lindsay Hubbard had her baby, and the name is Gemma Britt Koof. Moving on. It's not a bad name. The Brit surprised me.
Wait, I didn't know the last name was Koof. The whole thing you just said took me by surprise.
You're the one that told me you found the guy and his name was like Turner Koof or something like that.
Yes, but I forgot. But I didn't know the baby's name with the last name. This is all just, it was a new sound for me.
Gemma Koof.
Gemma, what's the middle name?
Brit.
Gemma Britt Koof.
Brit Spar. Yeah.
Love it.
Moving
on.
It's cute.
All we have to say.
All right. We have to talk about Southern Charm.
Yes.
I will say, sometimes I forget that like a season premiere is just the build-up for the whole rest of the season. And I always feel like there's so much hype around these season premieres and then nothing like really happens. And you just have to remember like we are building it up. Although I felt like it was a great episode of like meeting a lot of new people, catching up, like seeing where everyone's at in life. I want to know what you thought of it.
Oh, you're making it sound like you thought it was kind of a dud. I was like, this is amazing. The Canes, the new girl from America's Next Top Model. I was like, this is going to be a crazy season.
I didn't think it was dud. I didn't think it was a dud. I just didn't think anything really happened, but like that's okay.
This setup was good.
But I mean, things did happen, dude. Also, I feel like a lot of people are gliding over Taylor completely like blowing Shep off when he's like trying to talk to her and she's just like, no.
Oh,
like,
she's in a different chapter of the book.
Well, she has moved on. She's finally getting that dip.
Yeah.
So she's like,
I guess good for her. I don't know. I didn't like her last season very much.
No, but everyone can have a redemption. We'll see.
Totes, dude.
I have a feeling that since she has this boyfriend, it will not be a very Taylor-heavy season.
Yeah, agreed. It'll be
crazy that we're already seeing JT and Vanita together, like just doing some one-on-one trips.
Well, I mean, and it's like, do you think by this point that they've done anything?
I don't know.
I can't tell. I don't know. JT is wild. And then I saw, jumping ahead, I've already mentioned the Kane stuff.
Well, how could you not mention the Canes?
But how could I not mention it? It was so bizarre and strange. I loved it for him and everyone else. Maybe not Patricia. But I was reading somewhere, it's like, is that why he left Southern Charm? Because of the Patricia drama that started with him offering her a cane.
Yeah. I mean, it does seem like that Kane thing is, if I had any prediction, it's going to be the main storyline of the whole fucking season. Because then we get that preview of like, you called Miss Patricia bitch and whatever.
Right.
It does seem that way. I heard that buying the Canes at the gas station wasn't actually JT's idea. Supposedly, it was someone else's on the bus's idea. The theory is it's Rodrigo. Because they thought it would be funny for everyone on the bus to have a cane to kind of like playfully make fun of JT, but then it was apparently JT's idea to be like, well, I think this is according to JT. He didn't want anyone to feel left out. So then he went in and bought extra canes for everyone that is already at the fucking Charleston Derby or wherever they were.
Yikes. Look, I empathize with people that want to include people. I am one of them, but it was too much inclusiveness. It was tone deaf, to say the least.
Yeah.
But also, did I see on your TikTok, did someone say she's 83?
83. I looked it up.
I did not know she is that old.
Yeah, Miss Patricia, 83. Well, and then you also have to remember, she was bedridden the entire last season. Like, she was definitely...
What was that? Do we know her?
I don't know if she hurt her back or what, but so it is like, she obviously just was going through something as well. Let's not offer her a cane. She's 83.
83, that's geriatric. Like, that's old, but she looks so good for it. Obviously, I think she's invested to look this good for it. But
I think they also probably have a bit of a skin smoothing filter as well. The old Lisa Vanderpump
for just
pack.
Miss
Yeah.
Miss Patricia.
Oh yeah, we learned a little bit more about Austin and his new girlfriend, which I do think they're gonna try to paint Austin as like still being this fuckboy. I actually don't think he is. I think I'm noticing they're kind of like trying to grasp at straws from storylines from last season when it's like, honestly, guys, we can just pretend like last season never happened. Like, I don't want to hear that like Austin might be fucking around on his new girl. Like, unless it's true, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, but I also believe I totally believe it.
Maybe. Big scene between all the guys, too. Sitting around the table, Austin, Shep, and Craig really hashing it out, like, immediately.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt for Shep a little bit because he had a good point. He was like, the best, if y'all were really thinking of like the best thing to do for me is just cut me out without any explanation. And I like that they took ownership of that because like they did.
Which granted though, I mean, I do feel like it's been like 15 years of Shep doing the same shit. At what point, like, you do have to stop.
And like rebuttaling my own point, you do have to do something different for anything to change. So I guess it would be different to be like, okay, we're withdrawing.
Also, my boyfriend was watching with me and he just whispers and he goes, guys don't talk like this. He says, guys don't have these types of conversations with each other.
Wait, what did he mean?
Like, because they were like talking about their feelings and how this made me upset and you guys did this, that, and the other. And Dan was like, guys really don't like hash things out like that. And I'm like, maybe not, but this is on reality TV, so they have to.
Maybe after they've had an ayahuasca treatment that gave them enough therapy in 4 days as it did for 20 years. Or whatever.
And when I saw him say that, I said, men will do anything to not go to therapy. I did ayahuasca and I had years of therapy in 4 days. No, you didn't. I mean, maybe you did, sure, but you cannot compare the two.
Amen to that. Put it on a t-shirt. They'll do anything, literally anything to get out of it. But I kind of want to do it. I've seen like...
It's intriguing.
I'm curious about it. Although it does sound like you're just sick for a long time, but whatever.
Well, I've never heard a bad thing someone said about it like after they were done. Like everyone's always like, it was amazing.
That's so true.
And you know, if it works for Shep, I'm excited. I don't think he's a changed man by any means, but I'm excited to see if he's going to put his money where his ayahuasca is and like actually like make this change. He looks better. He definitely looks better.
He looks so much better.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Not drinking will do wonders for one's physique. I will say that. And I do think we're going to see a different him as we've seen in previews of him, even with this girl. Like he's pursuing a girl for once. That's weird. Like normally it's the other way around. So I think we'll see changes. What did you think about the new girl, Molly?
Okay. I think that she's kind of getting a bad rep because the first thing that we hear out of her mouth is like her talking about Craig and she's like, well, and I don't want to ruin Craig and Paige's relationship, which I do think that was kind of taken a little bit out of context. And
I agree.
I think they're trying to make her seem like the new, not like villain, but like not only was there that, she's also like jealous that Whitney brought a girl and she kind of likes Whitney. Like, did you catch on to that? Like,
yeah.
As I was watching Southern Charm, I remembered it is very overly produced and it's a show full of Frankenbites and it's hard to keep up with in that sense. And like while I'm watching, I'm like, this Molly girl doesn't like Whitney. Like they're trying, there's no single dudes really anymore. Shep, Craig, and Austin are all in a relationship. So they need someone.
Well, yeah, okay. I kind of got the impression this is a tale as old as time with me and you. I just always like think the best. And I'm like, oh no, I thought it was real. I got the impression that she actually did like Whitney and it was weird for her that he brought someone else. And he did bring someone that looked like they were 18.
Oh my God, yes, yeah. You know, and maybe I need to see more. I also just realized as we're talking, every single person on that show, oh, never mind, not JT and Vanita. I was going to say, aside from the new girls, are in a relationship, but JT and Vanita are not.
Well, Molly is in a relationship with her hair. Did you remember her from her weave episode on America's Next Top Model?
I haven't seen it, the episode, but I've seen the photos of her horrific makeover.
Oh my God. Tyra Banks did some like works on people over the years, but that was one of the worst
I think it
ones.
is coined as the worst makeover on America's Next Top Model.
I mean, there's ones where she like shaved people's heads. I mean, people would literally just do whatever Tyra Banks said. And in this case, if you haven't seen it, I encourage listeners to go online and Google it. But she did one where Tyra Banks, well, Molly had her normal hair that you see now, like blonde, long, straight. And Tyra Banks just put in a full head of weaved blonde hair that is so curly and big. She looked like Taylor Swift from Fearless.
Actually, yes, it was that type of hair.
But like even bigger, and it did not fit her face. And it looked so weird.
Well, and then
so
I'm pretty
bizarre.
sure at the end they like chopped all of it off and then she was left with like a Karen haircut.
Yes.
This poor
They were,
girl.
like, trying to control Z it. And they're like, okay, well, maybe if we take some back, like it'll look better.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So she's been through some stuff.
Look, I like the breath of fresh air. I like the new, and I think I'm here for it. I was surprised we didn't see Sally at all the first episode, but
Oh, I forgot even Sally was
yeah,
going to be
but
here.
give her time. Collectively, I think the internet is liking we're seeing a bit more of Rodrigo as well. I think it's like, if you're going to keep him on, like give us more of him. He really wasn't there last season.
They've teased him so perfectly of like, who's that guy in the background? Oh, that
Yeah.
guy has a line. Oh, we learned that guy's name is Rodrigo. Oh, we learned Rodrigo's like they have really teased this out for us that we're
Yeah.
like, we don't know him, but we think we like Rodrigo.
Right.
So,
and
we'll see what happens.
he's like really good friends with all of them. I mean, he was at the reunion last year. Like
yeah.
so
Like he has the tea. He knows he's on the ends.
yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of Southern Charm. Kind of speaking of new people, I want to go, if you don't mind, go into the Real Housewives of New York real fast because
Yes.
someone I just met had like a theory, or I was just talking to someone and they were saying that they feel that the reason that this season 2, actually I think it was Josh Throny Stan. He said he feels like the reason this second season of RHONY isn't necessarily working that well is because the first season, it was us meeting everyone. And we were like, oh, this is so fun. We're meeting new people. And now this season, even though we do have Raquel and Rebecca, it's not really mainly focused on them. And people are trying to figure out their actual storylines and like, what are they? Like,
Yeah.
what is everyone's storyline this season, actually?
Oh God. I went dark.
Like, besides these itty bitty fights and these little pranks, like, there really isn't anything super significant that anyone is currently going through.
Did you watch this episode?
I
watch
didn't.
it.
So maybe you could tell me. Well, I do think things are starting to come to light. I mean, even like Uba and her new boyfriend. But I feel like we're just like, we're getting like little bits and pieces of real things. And then spending episodes on dumb pranks and stupid ass fights when they're not focusing on the right things. But yeah,
But what are the right things to focus on? I mean, sometimes people just don't have a lot going on in their lives. And if it's the wrong like compilation of people, then it's gonna seem kind of like a dud. Or people are in different places now where they don't want to share as much. I think Uba's in one of those places where she was a big force on season 1. And season 2, she has some good zingers. You know, the whole pigeon thing is her thing. But we don't see her truly out there like we did in the first season. She's just kind of like a side character, I feel, this time.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. I actually think most of them, after season 1, realize like, okay, I do have to keep a lot close to the chest or else it's going to be used against me. Like this cast in particular is like very worried about their image. And
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just tough. But I didn't watch the most recent episode. I forgot. I just keep forgetting that this show exists.
It's okay. I've got
So
you.
give me the
cover
cliff notes. Give me the cliff notes.
brief cliff notes. Okay, first of all, Jenna throws a closet sale in New York. And
I would love to go to that.
So cool. And I wish people in LA did this. Do people in LA do this? I would go
probably, and we just don't know about them.
There's
Like I recently got invited to a clothing swap.
I've had those.
I feel like that's kind of similar maybe, but wait, there was a line down. I wonder how they like advertised Jenna's clothing sale.
Well, it was like supposed to be a smaller thing, and then enough people heard about it that it just like became a bigger thing. And
if you heard about Jenna Lyons doing a closet sale, who in their right mind would not go to that? Realistically.
I mean, she was selling literally everything. It was funny. One girl was seen bargaining with her over a pair of J. Crew sunglasses, and the girl was like, "This is not worth $20." And Jenna was like, "Okay." And she was like, "This is worth 10." She's like, "Okay." And so like you had everything, but then you also had her Met Gala looks. So you had like the whole spectrum of stuff. And I was like, that's hella cool. And I would totally go to one of those things. Just saying, for any of you celebrities listening in LA that want to do so, I am here for it. So Raquel and Mel have their engagement party, and the theme is ballroom. And I am very uncool and did not understand what that meant.
I had to Google it when she said it last episode.
I was imagining those TikToks of the people with like the stick down hair and stuff, and like ballroom competition, like Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
I was like, that's such a specific and like horrible thing to dress as. Everyone will have to fuck up their hair. But no, it is an African-American and Latino underground LGBTQ plus subculture. And so there were like many things on the invitation that you could go as suggestions. One was like something about glitter, like a glitter queen. So I think Brynn did that. She had like a glitter sequin dress. Madonna was an option. I think Jessel did Madonna. And you could go as like your opposite. And Jenna went as this like sexy blonde femme.
Okay, I'm a bitch. I'm watching this episode the moment we're done filming this episode. I can't believe I didn't watch it. This sounds fun.
It was so fun, and she looked so funny. And just like when she was the Clueless dad, she got so in character.
I like Jenna a lot.
All about like she had the nails and she was sexy, and it was really funny.
I love that.
And then come in, talk about opposites. Aaron and Gabe coming in as each other is so funny.
I feel like because I've seen photos, I feel like they did a pretty good job too.
They did, except people were like, his real name's Abe, and then Gabe is Mel's name for him, right? Like, yeah. I feel like people were like, Gabe looked way too ugly to be Aaron.
Well, it's a little hard to make a man look like a beautiful woman if they're not doing like full ass like drag makeup.
I know, but he did do a good job committing to the bit, as did Aaron as a dude. That was really fun. And then Raquel went as Grace Jones, which, do you know who Grace Jones is?
Nope, time for a quick Google.
I also didn't know, and I felt so stupid. I was like looking up summaries online, and they were like, who doesn't know who Grace Jones is? And I was like, well,
yeah, I definitely recognize Grace Jones now.
Yeah, I recognized her once I like got it up. That's what she said. And not a lot happened at this party. It was just fun, as far as I can recall.
Good.
But
good for
then
them.
why I asked you if you watched this episode earlier is because you said nothing really happened. This is one where Brynn really opens up about her sexual assault that happened in the past, and we don't know details about like who. We do know kind of when, because she says it really made her isolate herself, especially during the last year of her grandmother's life. I mean, Brynn is crying talking about this, and it's a long segment, so that'll be interesting for you to watch too, just because we haven't seen her that vulnerable, and it sounds awful. Yeah, that's that's all I gotta say.
I hope this doesn't sound like insensitive of me, but I do just feel like Brynn has been through a lot in her life, and if she didn't mask it, like she deflects and she masks it, and like she doesn't like talk about it, and then instead she like over sexualizes everything, dramatizes everything. She lies about things. Like it's like it explains. I think if she would be a bit more open with herself even about the things that she went through in her childhood and in her past, she wouldn't be this like heightened version of herself.
I agree. She kind of like, it's a +1 mentality of like, if you're going to take it there, I'll take it further, you know?
Right. Or like sometimes, yeah, like, I don't know. I just feel like I feel like she could be very misunderstood, and a lot of people are disliking her, and it's like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of layers to her, and I could see if she stays on this show, people liking her again, because I feel like season 1 or their first season, people loved her, and now this season, it's not so much.
It's not so much. Anyways, it's really touching, really sad. I think a lot of her behavior kind of, it feels like there's unresolved trauma that might be there. And I think this one explains some of it. And she mentioned something about her engagement to Gideon and how that ended really poorly. I don't think that's related to this, but like I didn't realize how sad she was about it.
Everything could be related to everything, you know? Everything in a way can be connected.
It makes a human. Yeah, all your stories combined like make you who you are.
Speaking of Brynn, did you see that clip of her on Watch What Happens Live basically shitting on Jeff Lewis?
Yes. But I mean, are you surprised?
Well, the people have mixed feelings about it because people were like, dude, like Jeff went on Watch What Happens Live and I don't know that he necessarily apologized, but he clarified, like, I never called her an escort. I had a question. But
didn't.
Again, I just feel like another thing that's being blown out of proportion. But my favorite part is Brynn is talking about this and says that like ladies don't talk to pigs or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And Kathy Hilton's like, wait, who? Because she's the other guy. Who are you talking about? And Brynn goes, Jeff Lewis. And Kathy Hilton goes, oh, is he on your show? And Brynn's like, I no, but he wishes he was. And then Kathy's like, oh yeah, I like him. I'm surprised you don't like him. And Brynn goes, wow, I'm surprised you like him. Talks a lot of trash on your sister. And Andy is just sitting there, without any look on his face. And a lot of the comments were like, you can tell Andy thought Brynn was going to be like his new big housewife, and he is just so disappointed in like how that's what the comments were saying. Yeah, I always read the comments of what the fans are saying.
It did give hints of I'm being quiet because I have to be. He normally is expressive with whatever response there is, and it was unlike him to be as quiet as he was and have a straight face. It felt like he was like, I don't agree with this. I mean, Jeff Lewis is great for Andy Cohen. He gives great
keeping
ratings.
Him in business.
I know, yeah. He says it like it is. He's controversial. I think that he has to, support his talent. And I don't think what he did to Brynn was that bad, honestly.
If Brynn didn't blow it out of I hate to keep saying she's blowing things out of proportion, but if Brynn didn't like put so much attention on it, none of us would even know he fucking said it.
No one would know. No one would know.
Just because it's like a huge deal in your life, like we don't care, Brynn. Also, you are a real housewife that doesn't have a husband and doesn't have a real job. People are gonna ask questions. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
she has a job, but I'm still confused on what it is.
Well, you were asked to participate in it.
And then they said, never mind. So I'm like, does it exist? I'm not sure.
But also, if you're the CEO of a tech startup like that, you're still not making the kind of money that she needs to be living the lifestyle she's living. Yeah. Just saying. No offense.
She's going to come after us now like Jeff Lewis.
I know. I was just thinking that. I was just thinking, okay, I'm going to back down. I don't care how she makes her money. If it's a sugar daddy, good for her. Get it. Whatever. Okay.
She had the opportunity to make like a funny Brynn-esque joke, and instead she just made a thing out of nothing. And I'm like, whatever. But I
do agree that Jeff Lewis is gross.
I was just going to say, maybe she's just annoyed with the drama that he's been starting. So you know what?
Okay, and the only other thing that happened in New York was literally nothing, because it was like you said, just the girls talking about Uba and Aaron, how they're mad at each other and how they're going to talk to each other at some point. I don't even remember why they're mad at each other. I think it's because Uba said the gaslighting thing, or like, I don't know. But they just talked a lot about talking at some point.
Okay, great. Excited for that talk that we've talked so much about to finally be talked.
Exactly.
Talk about a good Housewives episode. This episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City may go down as one of the best episodes of Real Housewives ever. That's what
Wow.
I'm hearing. Like this was such. So this is the Meredith Bat Mitzvah episode. It was there was just so many iconic lines and iconic things. Like so much happening. Like not even fights. Just starting off with Mary Cosby not knowing how to get in and looking at the window right behind the stage. It was so funny. It was like you cannot write that stuff.
I was LOLing on my couch. I was like, oh, I'd be so pissed if I were Meredith, though. I'd be like, that was her time to shine.
She didn't know.
That's so true. That's so true.
And I mean, it wasn't on. If it was any other girl, I think maybe she would think it might have been intentional. But the fact that it was Mary, like she just really didn't know.
But what I loved is that the camera crew gave zero fucks and they're like, we're not
Didn't help her. Didn't help her at all.
You're on your own, girl. Like this is your journey, and we're just following you in it.
No, 100%. So yeah, I guess like the fucking cattiness started outside before the bat mitzvah started, and not to jump around, but I'm on Bronwyn's side when Bronwyn said, I'm tired of Brittany saying shit but then acting like the victim, basically, because Brittany was outside and she's saying like, yeah, well, Angie said that I was a slut, but maybe she's only saying that because that's what her and Sean do. And in my mind, I'm like so anti-Brittany right now.
Yeah.
And I think that Brittany had a week to think of a fun, like, catty response, and like that was going to be her line. Like she wanted to have an iconic line, and that was it. And then the moment that Bronwyn, which I thought was hilarious because Bronwyn and Angie were just fighting not only 10 minutes before, but nothing brings two people together like common hatred. And they both don't fuck with Brittany. And when Bronwyn saw that Brittany was doing this, woe is me, I'm the victim, Brittany goes, actually, Angie, you want to know something? She called you a slut right outside. And I was like, what? Like, Bronwyn, this is coming out of nowhere. That's amazing that you said that, but you were literally just crying over Angie and now you're helping her.
Yeah, literally left field. That whole series of events. I will say I'm not a big Britney stan. I need to talk about people I love because I feel like this episode I'm just talking about people I don't like and everyone's going to hate me. I love
Hey, you're
everyone.
allowed to have opinions. This is an opinionated podcast.
I do love everyone. World peace is great. Britney, I do think she's in a point where all the girls do hate her so much that anything she says is going to be magnified 10 times in either like a great direction or horrible direction.
Yeah.
Like, I think if Lisa had said something like that, no one would think twice. I mean, they would think something of it, but maybe I'm wrong in that. I don't know. I just feel like she has a magnifying glass on her. Look, I think she deserves what she's getting. I agree she shouldn't have said that. That's a weird thing, especially if she knows she's going to be on this show and she has her 5 seconds to redeem herself. Girl, DM us. We can give you better lines. Like we can help
like,
you here.
It's also such like a rookie move. It is such a first season move for her to say something, and then when she gets confronted about it, be like, "I never said that. I never said that. I didn't say that." It's like you were filmed and mic'd up. You said that. And you know you said that.
But this is also why I love reality TV because it truly captures how the psychology of a human. Because I think in her mind, she thinks, I didn't say exactly that. I said maybe, like the way she phrased it, I could see she convinced herself that's not what she said.
Yeah,
but that's absolutely what she said. But she's like so hard on convinced that that is not what happened.
You know,
it was.
I have been watching this show in a bit of a different light lately because you know how I think it was last podcast episode I was talking about Melee and how she's like in houses and we never see her. I saw online that I guess after they had filmed, they had seen some not so great comments that she has made about like transgender people, right?
Why does this not come out sooner?
That's what I'm saying, Carolyn. It is kind of crazy that it's like they're not seeing this stuff, but whatever. So the theory is that they're kind of like editing her out of this season as much as they can while still making the storyline make sense. Because she was photographed as if she was a main cast member. So was Brittany. And I think you have to remember these women, as they're filming, they don't know how the show's going to be edited. And they think they're all going to be main cast members, right? So when I saw like Brittany run off crying and Brooks, of all people, goes after her, makes sure she's okay, and then goes to his mom and it's like, hey, Brittany's crying. I think you should get her. I did think to myself, why should Meredith have to deal with this on her day? It's Brittany. Who cares?
Yeah.
But as far as they know, Brittany the storyline this season. I mean, Monica Garcia was the storyline last season, even before Reality Vontees came out. We saw so much of her. So maybe they're thinking Monica or Brittany is a bigger part, so they're being a bit more conscientious of her, when really they don't need to care this much about her because she's such a minimal part of this season.
Again, here I go thinking the better of the doubt. I literally took it as like, oh, Brooks was really nice. I mean, if you did see a crying adult woman at your mother's bat mitzvah, you might pause to try to understand what's going on in this situation. And then if someone did, I mean, she did say I was called a slut. I mean, I would also want that not to be happening at my mother's bat mitzvah. And I would want to let her know that she needs to shut shit down. Or not even shut shit down, just let her know what's going on. But also, it was just adding gas to the fire because it was just like she was already so on the outs with Angie that that was the last straw that like he probably shouldn't have said anything just because what else was going to happen? Meredith was going to activate, as Lindsay Hubbard says.
Well, and look, I have two things to say. Angie was wrong in the beginning when she made that comment about Brittany. And we said that last podcast episode, and I do stand by that. But when in terms of the bat mitzvah, Brittany did start it. Brittany was the first one to call someone a slut at this bat mitzvah, which is just crazy that we're even saying this sentence. Bat mitzvahs were very different when I was 13, I'll just say that. But she started it, and then I feel Angie when she's like, you know, like she called me a slut. Like, I don't know. Brittany started it and then didn't want to finish it, and it is like annoying to me that Brittany's the one crying in the corner, even though she's the one that brought it up, that brought it to the bat mitzvah, that brought the drama. And then again, last episode or 2 episodes ago, what about me? It's like, if I were one of those women, I would not want to give Brittany my time of day because all she wants is attention, and that's why she's running in the corner and crying.
I will say in her defense, God, we're in court, and I'm just, as a public defender, I have to give her some sort of defense. She didn't bring it like the way Angie, I mean, she brought it thinking she was talking and gossiping with girlfriends. She did not know that she's not self-aware that these people don't like her, that Bronwyn doesn't like her, that they're actually not friends. Like, I think she didn't bring it in the sense of she went there to say like, I can't wait to yell at everyone, she said as a snide comment to who she thought were her friends. Yeah. And they weren't. And that comment would have never gotten out were it not Bronwyn getting her little hands dirty, which made me think like, oh wow, Bronwyn, last episode I felt so much for her because I think she was being attacked on all sides and she felt she had a lot of humility. And this episode I was like, oh yeah, I forgot when I first met her, I'm having those same feelings of like, ugh. Like, why did she, like, she didn't need to do that.
Bronwyn got very involved. And I was a little surprised of, like, the cattiness. But I also feel like Bronwyn's probably at the stage where she's like, I've tried to be nice. No one's being nice to me, so fuck it.
Yeah, it also just felt to me like, oh, I know producers will love that I do this.
You know, and you're probably right. And maybe that is it. Maybe.
And like, I think she just like wants to be great at her job and she was upset and like, fuck it. If this is what they want in a housewife, this is what I'm going to bring as a housewife. Yeah. She did this is kind of the energy I was feeling. Right. Either way, it did create a fantastic scene. So I'm not mad about it.
And a line that will be quoted and go down in the history books of high body count hair.
High body count hair, high body count dress, high body count.
It really was. And look, I don't agree with the way Angie's been acting, but that was an amazing line. And like, it was mean girl shit, but I just feel like it was a little bit deserved. I don't know. I just like don't love Brittany. But I will say, I appreciated that they did show some past footage of like, this is not the first time Angie has like kind of slut shamed people. And like you were saying earlier, she already was on thin ice. Meredith barely wanted to invite her to this bat mitzvah. So I feel like this second that like this was brought up, Meredith didn't even need to hear what Angie was saying. She just was like, no, I'm not standing for it. Get the fuck out. This is my day. You're not going to cause drama for me. And I actually loved that Meredith did that.
I I was just going to say, like, I mean, there are things that are so precious to you that are your day that people will protect you at all costs to, like, not ruin. I think your bat mitzvah is one of those days. And the fact that she was like, that Angie was getting that heated and escalated at Meredith's thing, I didn't appreciate for Meredith.
I agree.
And the fact when Angie got kicked out, she was yelling back for Meredith to come out and like confront her about it, I thought was very declassé.
Right. This isn't just like a dinner party that someone's throwing. Meredith got bat mitzvah. She has been studying, like this is like a thing that she's been working towards. And if I were Meredith, I would say, I don't want my moment tainted by these arguments. And I feel like people were trying to pull Meredith away from the Housewives. Like, I remember at one point, her sister goes up and she's like, Mary, you haven't talked to mom at all. Come over here.
Yeah.
And they pulled her away because, that's what happens is, obviously, like, these moments get taken over by the drama, but Meredith isn't going to spend an hour of her bat mitzvah calming down Angie, who she doesn't even fucking like, and only invited because she probably had to.
Yeah, it's so true. And if and when you and Dan get married, I promise you, like, the amount of things that happen that people just don't tell you about because they don't want you worried about it is crazy. And it comes out afterwards and you're like, that's what was happening? Oh my God, my bachelorette party, my wedding, there was so much happening that I had no idea about just because they didn't want to get me upset or have me worry about it because it was my day and my day only. I would feel that protective if Meredith were my friend and it were her bat mitzvah. I'd be like, get the F out.
But do you think that those things would have been kept from you if you were on a reality show and there were cameras around and people wanted drama? Probably not.
That is true. That is the truth. And if she really wanted to protect that day, she probably just shouldn't have had Angie and she shouldn't have cameers, period.
That's a good, yeah.
But I really liked what Meredith did here. And again, I think it's just because we met her and she was so nice.
We love Meredith in this house. We stan Meredith.
We love Meredith. But I think it's so cool what she did of even having this, and in light of everything that's going on in this world, for her to get in touch with her roots in an unconventional way that some people might say, that's weird. Why would someone do that? And her saying, F off. This is something I want to do for me spiritually. I think is really cool. And I thought the whole thing was really neat. So I'm glad it was on camera for those reasons.
I agree. And her even saying, my son Reed is very private, so it means a lot to me that he's here today. I am a bitch that likes to read between the lines, and to me, I'm like, Reed doesn't want to be on TV, but he's doing it because you're asking him to.
Exactly. And there were such cute moments, like when the kids were holding hands and stuff.
Yeah, and they were like crying while she was up there doing her reading. Like, it was really nice. And it's funny because that's what we talked to Meredith about when we met her, where we congratulated her on being bat mitzvah, and she was like, you're gonna see it in this season. And like, it was kind of, I don't know, it was cool to see it come to fruition.
It came to life. She did it. Good job, Mare.
Let me give you some quick tea about the reunion for Real Housewives.
Yes, spill it, honey.
So Andy said this on his radio show. He said, the reunion was as great as this season, and he views this season as a 10 out of 10, and the reunion was a 10 out of 10. He said, memorable lines, big drama, reconciliation, and everything. He said there's going to be 3 parts to this reunion, which that's pretty much what it's been. But he says that even with 3 parts, most things are going to be left on the cutting room floor because there's just like so much shit that they talked about, which I'm like, how much? I mean, I guess there's still a whole lot of season left, so. And he seems very pro Angie, and he was like giggling like a little boy. And he said, yeah, when Angie first sat next to me, she said, wow, I went from bench warming bitch to first position right to Andy. Because supposedly Monica Garcia at last year's reunion called her a bench warming bitch.
Oh, yeah, she did. And Angie kind of was. Angie really did. She is the MVP.
Where did she come from this season?
Out of left field. She has brought it.
But Andy then says that he would argue any of the women could have been seated next to him this season. And then whoever was on the radio show with him goes, well, not Whitney. And Andy goes, maybe not Whitney, but like she could. It's crazy how Whitney has just fallen so down in the ranks.
And you know what? This makes me happy. Surprisingly, I thought I feel like we kind of missed out by not having Monica back. I'm so glad they didn't have Monica
Me
back.
too. I thought the same thing as well, Carolyn. And looking back, I'd much rather have Bronwyn and Brittany in this drama than have Monica
this
again.
is fresh. This is new. This is still real drama from the fallout, but it's in a new light. I don't know. It's just such a good season.
It really is. It really is. It's really fun to watch. I'm also loving that like Heather's been bringing her one daughter around with her to like a lot of things. I think that's cute. It's like
it's so cute.
Her little bestie. Because her daughter, wasn't her daughter the one to be like, that's Mary? Like peeking through the windows. Thank God.
Oh, the best. The best.
All right. Well, guys, don't forget, we are going to be doing some awards next episode. And we will probably be asking some questions on our Instagram story next week to get you guys involved in some of the categories as well. Still working out some kinks, but we'll keep you posted.
And if you think of any categories to be included, please DM us, comment. We will absolutely look at them.
Yeah, and thank you again, everyone that had us on their Spotify Wrapped.
We love all of you.
Do you do your own Spotify Wrapped?
I do. I haven't done it this year yet. I've been waiting to like have a private moment to like look through it.
It is like a private thing. It's important. It really is.
Like, it's a reflective moment for
Yeah, I did have Bio Files on my top podcast as well.
Oh, it's definitely gonna be there.
Yeah,
that was also on our people also listen to Vile Files and us. So
really are in good company. Well, guys, thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying this lead up to the holiday season, and we will see you next week.
We'll see you next week. Kisses, hugs, and loves.
Wow,
Bye.
cute. That was cute.
Thanks. I'm amazing.
Bye.
Bye.